The day arrived when someone came along and told the secret before the king's son, how they say about him what he has exchanged. However, you cannot investigate this, for it does not befit you. And how can one probe such a thing? I'm telling you this because in order that you should know, for perhaps there will be a conspiracy against the monarchy. The conspiracy will be able to grow stronger through this, for they will say that they are taking for themselves the king's son as a king, that is, the one who they say of him that is the king's true son, as mentioned before. Therefore you need to outwit the fellow. All this that person said to the king's son, who in actual truth is the bondmaid's son, as mentioned. The king's son went, the one who is called the king's son, and whenever simply the king's son is mentioned, it refers to the exchanged son, that he's actually the bondmaid's son. The king's son went and began to do shenanigans to the other one's father, who really was his own father, and arranged everything to constantly do him evil. And he kept dealing him devilry, one after another, in order to force him to uproot himself along with his son. Now, the whole time the king himself was still alive, he did not yet have such an authority. Nonetheless, he kept dealing him woes. Afterwards, the king grew old and died. So he assumed the reign, and he dealt even more evil to the other son's father. He dealt him evil disguised so that people would not know that it's from him, for it's unseemly in front of people, and always dealt with him devilry, time and again. This one, the son's father, understood that he is doing chicanery on account of the matter. He spoke up and said to his son, and told him the whole affair, and said to him, I have great pity on you, for anyway you approach it, if indeed you are my child. Of course, I certainly have great pity on you. If indeed you are not my child, but in truth the king's son, there is even greater pity on you, because that one who took over the reign wants to expel you entirely. Perish the thought. Therefore you must pull out. You must run away from here. He was very upset, and by him this matter was extreme iniquity. However, the king, meanwhile, kept constantly dealing out woes, one after another. So the son decided he must run away. His father gave him a great deal of money, and he left.